again, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and today I'm going to make Maria Emmerich's egg white protein bread. So for those of you that are insulin resistant, this is my story. My dad died of type 2 diabetes when he was 63. I was only 30. I started my insulin resistance in my 20s, and I didn't do anything about it until I was in my 40s. I started with supplementation. I talk about it all the time. The trio that has so many amazing testimonies of people's sugars coming down, losing their weight, especially some of that belly fat. But then I also teach food because we have to fix what got us into the pickle to begin with. When it comes to food, bread seems to be the thing that we miss the most. So for me, I'm kind of a sweet person, so I'm going to turn this into a cinnamon bread. However, I'll use the exact same technique sometimes, and I'll layer it with like basil and garlic powder to make it more savory. That is 1 pint of egg whites into my mixer. Now I'm going to add in some salt, cream of tartar, gelatin, allulose, and I'm going to up the sweetness with a little secret ingredient. Half of a teaspoon of cream of tartar stabilizes the egg whites. Half a teaspoon of salt. This is the brand of allulose that I am using. You can use anything that has an allulose blend to it as well. It doesn't have to be straight allulose. Allulose is what makes the bread brown. 3 tablespoons. Now I'm going to turn this on and get it going, and I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of gelatin. You can buy gelatin at the grocery store. Knox is a pork gelatin. This is a beef gelatin, and I get this off of Thrive Market. If you're not a member, I do have I have a link to Thrive Market on my website, KirstenLiebelt.com, and you can go there and find it. It's an annual subscription, but I've been using it now since 2020. I like that I can get all sorts of different ingredients, like my sweeteners, on it. And then because I'm making a sweet bread instead of a savory bread, I want to boost that sweetness. So I use like a liquid, either a stevia. This one happens to be a liquid monk fruit. And I'm just going to give it 1 squirt. Now I'm going to whip this until the egg whites get stiff, and then we're going to add in egg white protein powder. Okay, once your egg whites are whipped, nice and stiff, I'm going to add in protein powder, egg white protein powder. Okay, it's a big jug, I know. You don't have to buy as big of a jug as I do. But I know I'm going to use this. So, okay, I get mine off of Amazon. You can get yours off of Walmart. There are some people in the South that tell me, y'all, I'm in Minnesota, y'all get yours down at like Publix. Up here, I probably could find it in a grocery store. I just haven't done it yet, so I'm using it out of this. I'm going to add about 2/3 of a cup of this. Now you'll notice this is already whipped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in about 1/3 and then 1/3. Get myself my 2/3 going here. And when I whip it up again now, I am not going to be too crazy about how much I whip it. This is when I would add in an extract. If I was going to add in orange extract, I would add in 2 teaspoons of orange extract, carefully just dripping it around it. Or if I was going to add in, let's say, a banana extract, which I could do that right now. Actually, let me just do that, because I'll make it banana cinnamon. How does that sound? So I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons, and I'm going to do it right now. You're going to notice that it definitely, like, you know, it's going to affect the egg whites, right? And so we want to kind of get this mixed up quickly. Oh, it smells so good. This is how I'm going to whip it. I'm just incorporating. There. That's it. Because I don't want to ruin my egg whites, right? All right. Let me show you how I layer this up now. My oven is at 325 degrees, and I've taken a loaf pan and I have put parchment paper inside of it. I'm not going to grease it or anything. I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to begin to layer this in here. By the way, you could have added vanilla to this also if you wanted, especially like when I'm doing orange. I kind of like to have that vanilla orange so that it's kind of maybe a little more creamsicle flavor. But I'm going to begin to layer this in here, and all I'm going to do is kind of like put it, I'll show you. I'm just going to put it into the corners like this. And I'm a cinnamon girl. So, you know, if you're dealing with insulin resistance, you're dealing with, you know, high blood sugars, etc. Cinnamon is really good for you. So what has happened is, you know, because my dad died of type 2, I really went on this journey. I wanted to know why, if he was on all of these medications, like a lazy Susan full of medications, why did he die? That's what I wanted to know. And I realized that the medications that were being offered to him were not being offered to him so that they could heal him or reverse anything. So when I started to supplement in my 40s, I actually didn't even know it was going to work, because there was still a part of my brain that said that no matter what, it's genetic and there's really nothing you can do. But that's not true. All right, so all I've done is I have layered this like this. And then I'm going to put this in the oven for about a half an hour. And we're going to see what this looks like. And the reason why this is an important piece of the puzzle, number one, important because oftentimes we miss bread. Important, number two, because it's all protein. It's very high protein. Protein will help stabilize your blood sugars. It helps you to maintain your lean muscle mass. It helps you to feel full longer. It helps you to feel satiated. Like you feel good when you're taking in really good protein. And most of us are all taking in too little protein, period, the end. You need a minimum of 100 grams of protein a day, and it's even more than that. Sometimes people will say, like for instance, now Maria Emmerich, this is a take on her recipe. She'll say that protein is the only macro that she counts. Like that's how important it is. And some people will say that your goal weight, turn that into how many grams of protein a day you should be shooting for. So what's your goal weight? Let's get this in the oven. Okay, now isn't this gorgeous? This is grain-free and sugar-free. You can see how this looks. Amazing. Cinnamon throughout, smells like banana. One of the greatest blessings of being grain-free, sugar-free is that I don't ache. I can get down on the floor with my grandbabies. It's huge. So eating high protein so that you can maintain your lean muscle mass, stabilize your blood sugars, feel full all the time, feel very satiated, bringing down your sugars and your insulin, if that is something that is of interest to you, you can always go to KirstenLiebelt.com. There's a Facebook blue button, Facebook group called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Every month I do a challenge in there. And we do a recipe on the Friday of the challenge. But also too, I talk a lot about the trio, and the trio are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And that's where I started. So if you're looking to launch yourself a little bit, get yourself going, that's where I started. And the testimonies have been just incredible. People who are type 2 and they can't lose weight, and all of a sudden, I have one that in 2.5 months, she lost 14 pounds and her morning blood sugars went from 185 down to 150s. So I just want you to know that there's a lot of hope to be had. Doesn't that look amazing? So I'm going to go eat this, and you have a super blessed day.